Hello everyone, this is Shadow. Due to copyright restrictions on YouTube, I can't publish many of the audiobooks you love. That's why I've created a special paid service where you can enjoy over 300 high-quality audiobooks from platforms like Webnovel, Pocket FM, Audible, Wuxia, and more. Each novel comes as a one-time purchase, no subscriptions, no hidden fees. After payment, you'll receive full access via Telegram, along with all future updates for that novel. You'll find a wide selection of your favorite genres and titles, always in premium audio quality. Check the full list of available novels in the description. DM me now to get your favorite stories in audiobook form and start listening today. Chapter 311. Continuously condensing all sorts of spatial models, over 900 basic spatial models came together like pillars, thoroughly supporting an entirely independent space within Lin Yuan's Dantian Qi. A world. Lin Yuan observed the changes within the Qi of his Dantian. Creating a small space isn't a difficult task for a 6th-rank evolver. As long as they comprehend one or two basic spatial models, they can achieve it. In the immortal Tao world, a Mahayana phase Heaven Lord could use the heaven-grade technique, Cosmos in the sleeve, to temporarily create a sleeve space. But to create a small world is incredibly difficult. Unlike the rigid space, a world can continuously absorb external energy to grow. The most powerful aspect of an 8th-layer evolver is that with every move, they can harness the power of their inner world, a terrifying force far surpassing the individual's own. And with the support of an inner world, an 8th-layer evolver is very hard to kill, able to recover from even the most grievous injuries. Of course, here the injuries referred to are those of the physical body. As for injuries to the soul, it depends on the specific circumstances. The soul is extremely mysterious. Over 1 million years ago, the 8th-layer evolutionist Oin died under a soul attack, unable to send out any message before death. The embryonic form of a world has already taken shape. Lin Yuan's attention was mostly focused on that separate space deep within the Qi of his Dantian. With the addition of 965 basic spatial models, the power of Taiyin and power of Taiyang, which formed the power of Taiji, seemed to have gone through some type of qualitative change. The aura shifted, quickly becoming perfected. The embryonic form of a small world faintly appeared. Lin Yuan's expression suddenly changed. With the appearance of the embryonic form of the small world, Lin Yuan suddenly felt an unprecedented sense of hunger. Hungry, hungry, hungry. I'm starving to death. The small world's embryonic form began to crazily absorb the energy inside Lin Yuan's body. In fact, with Lin Yuan's control, he could completely cut off this absorption. But if he did that, it might affect the foundation of the Taiji small world. Thankfully, I came prepared. With a thought from Lin Yuan, bottle after bottle appeared before him. They were filled with vast amounts of scarlet spirit liquid. Before his breakthrough, Lin Yuan had prepared everything he might need. To open up an inner world, a tremendous amount of energy is inevitably consumed, and relying solely on one's own absorption, who knows how long that would take. Therefore, Lin Yuan had, in advance, applied for enough scarlet spirit liquid. Scarlet spirit liquid can replenish the energy consumed within the body, and has many uses. The Red Kuan lineage has a stable channel for acquiring scarlet spirit liquid. Actually, in terms of replenishing oneself, the effect of cosmic crystal stones should far surpass that of scarlet spirit liquid, a resource needed by 8th-layer evolvers and even stronger beings. But Lin Yuan was reluctant to use them. Despite obtaining 1,000 cubic cosmic crystals from O Yin's legacy, these were hard currency among various cosmic races, and using any would mean having less. While the effect of scarlet spirit liquid was somewhat inferior, it was free and cost nothing. Eat, eat. Lin Yuan drank the scarlet spirit liquid in big gulps, and the gentle power flowed swiftly into the Qi of his Dantian through his limbs and bones. The embryonic form of the Taiji small world started to fill up at a visible rate. Above the Qikuan main star, the Qikuan Star Lord and the 12 Peak Masters were carefully observing the fluctuations in Lin Yuan's aura during his breakthrough. Little junior brother has a very stable foundation. Seems like he has made ample preparations. The breakthrough hasn't encountered any hitches. But why is he lingering at the 6th rank peak? The third senior brother was also observing carefully, although he had already stepped into the 7th rank. Watching and feeling more can't do him any harm. Not sure. Perhaps he's sensing the subtle changes from 6th rank to 7th rank? Maybe little junior brother really is. Other evolvers, even us, when breaking through from 6th to 7th rank, can't wait to step right into it, yet little junior brother is leisurely. Geez. Comparing people. The second senior brother sighed. For a 6th rank evolver, stepping into the 7th rank is undoubtedly the most coveted thing. No 6th rank evolver could stay at the door to the 7th rank and shake it without immediately entering. Judging by the changes in aura, little junior brother's entry into the 7th rank should be a sure thing. The eldest senior brother declared decisively, having taken less than 2 years to complete the entire journey from 6th rank to the peak of the 7th rank. And the breakthrough was so smooth. The eldest senior brother simply thought Lin Yuan was abnormal. When he recalled the many setbacks and trials he faced when breaking through to the 7th rank, compared with his little junior brother. Compared to the 12 peak masters who were overwhelmed with emotion. At this moment, despite the calm appearance of the Chikuan Star Lord, there was a look of surprise and uncertainty in his heart. How do I feel the opening of a space? The Chikuan Star Lord was keenly sensing the changes in the aura coming from the 13 peaks below. Worried about affecting Lin Yuan's breakthrough, the Chikuan Star Lord dared not extend his perception into the 13 peaks. He could only rely on his own experience and the fluctuations of the power of space to speculate on some matters. Could it be? The Chikuan Star Lord himself, a starry sky wanderer Kuan, was a special space life form and was extremely sensitive to the fluctuations of space. At this moment, he faintly perceived that the spatial fluctuations produced by Lin Yuan's breakthrough were somewhat different from the normal transition from 6th rank to 7th. Could it be some special space treasure or... The Chikuan Star Lord thought for a moment and couldn't help but speculate. He was just curious and had no other thoughts. After all, which evolver who managed to cultivate to the 6th or 7th rank didn't have some sort of special opportunity? The Chikuan Star Lord had his own, as did the 12 peak masters, so it was only natural for Lin Yuan to have a special space treasure. Time passed. Another half-day went by. It should be stable now. Let's go wait outside the 13 peaks. Feeling that Lin Yuan's aura had fully stepped into the 7th rank, the Chikuan Star Lord led the 12 peak masters towards the outside of the 13 peaks. Little junior brother, you've really kept us in the dark. Indeed, this time we must find out exactly how he has been cultivating. Ah, what do you say, when we meet him, should I call him senior brother or junior brother? The 12 peak masters talked amongst themselves, while the 4th to 12th masters were somewhat conflicted. In the human civilization of the universe, unless it's a direct blood relative, strength takes precedence. That is to say, even if a 7th rank evolver is younger, a 6th rank evolver must treat them as an elder upon meeting. The 4th peak master and the others weren't reluctant to call Lin Yuan senior brother, but having called him junior brother so many times before, the sudden change of status was a bit unfamiliar to them. Chikuan Main Star. As the most prosperous planet in a star domain, the Chikuan Main Star is filled with many powerful evolvers with 4th and 5th ranks seen everywhere, and there were also numerous 6th rank fallen star warriors, and even 7th rank evolvers. Under the perception of so many powerful beings, the breakthrough aura emanating from the heart of the main star was naturally noticed by many 6th rank evolvers. Someone in the Red Kuan lineage has broken through to the 7th rank? The Chikuan Star Lord's level of mentoring disciples is really impressive. True. It's a pity the Chikuan Star Lord doesn't take many disciples. In 10,000 years he has only taken the 13 peak masters. The 6th rank evolvers on the main star chatted with each other, praising the Chikuan Star Lord's teaching methods. Right? Who do you think is the peak master that broke through to the 7th rank this time? A 6th rank evolver asked out of curiosity. They were unaware that at this moment, all 12 peak masters were not on Chikuan main star. It should be the 4th peak master, right? The 4th peak master has been at the 6th rank the longest, has the deepest accumulation, and is closest to the 7th rank. I think that's not right. The 6th Peak Master has the best talent and a special physique. Among the Chikuin Star Lord's disciples, I think he's the most likely to step into the 7th rank. The 6th Peak Master is indeed very likely, but in earlier years, the 6th Peak Master was injured in a battle with a different species, which might affect his breakthrough to the 7th rank. I think the 8th Peak Master is the most likely. The 8th Peak Master? I think it's the 5th Peak Master. The multitude of 6th rank evolvers guessed all the 9 Peak Masters, from the 4th to the 12th, one by one. Each of these 9 masters was at the peak of the 6th rank, and being a disciple of a Star Lord, they all had the potential to step into the 7th rank. Though opinions among the 6th rank evolvers differed, there was a unified understanding, or perhaps an assumption. That was, the Peak Master who was breaking through definitely could not be the 13th Peak Master. Chapter 312 Fame spreads far and wide. Exhale. Inhale. Deep within the great hall of the 13 peaks, Lin Yuan sat cross-legged, experiencing a significant transformation of both body and soul after entering the 7th rank. Now Lin Yuan, merely his foundational destructive power had surged dozens of times, and if the amplification from his understanding of the rules and the support of the Taiji inner world in his body were added, probably only 7th rank kings as evolvers could match Lin Yuan. Taiji inner world. Lin Yuan's mind plunged into the Dantian Qi Sea. A small world had already been formed there. Whoosh! Lin Yuan's mind descended into the small world. This was a small world swirling in black and white, where everything looked desolate at a glance. Yet, Lin Yuan did not find it strange. The small world had just been created. Everything was yet to be developed. Normally, the inner worlds of 8th rank evolvers are often about 100 miles in radius. But this small world of mine is merely 10 miles in radius? Lin Yuan looked around, thinking to himself. As the creator of this small world, Lin Yuan was like a god of creation, knowing everything inside the small world with just a thought. True. The inner worlds created by 8th rank evolvers have a strong physical body as their foundation. Hence they can bear a world of 100 miles. Lin Yuan thought to himself. Evolver who can cultivate to the 8th rank at least follow the 8th rank evolutionary path. Such evolutionary paths are almost as strong as the current martial path evolutionary path, especially since they only try to create an inner world after reaching the peak of 7th rank. A 7th rank peak body and soul are naturally a bit stronger than Lin Yuan's 6th rank peak body and soul. The initial size of the inner worlds they create naturally has an advantage. Of course, the initial size of the inner world is irrelevant. Because the inner world has the attribute of growth, it can slowly expand. Currently, Lin Yuan's inner world is only 10 miles in size, but as Lin Yuan's realm ascends and his strength increases, the inner world will grow to hundreds or even thousands of miles. The power of the world. Lin Yuan raised his right hand and observed it carefully. After the Taiji inner world formed, it began to emit the power of the world, slowly transforming Lin Yuan's body and soul. The power of the world, almost omnipotent, could enhance Lin Yuan's attacks, guard his body and soul, and also slowly improve various aspects. Although I've just entered the 7th rank, with the boost from the power of the world, my actual combat power may have already reached the peak of 7th rank. Lin Yuan silently thought. The power of the world, that is an exclusive force of 8th rank evolvers. The inner world Lin Yuan had just opened, even if it was weaker than the inner worlds of 8th rank evolvers, still gave birth to the power of the world. Among the 7th rank evolvers it was almost like cheating. Most importantly, most of those at the peak of the 7th rank, their upper limits were set in stone, and the only way to advance was to attempt to break through to the 8th rank. But Lin Yuan, his inner world had just been opened, possessing almost unlimited potential for growth, which might enable him someday to compete with 8th rank evolvers while still at the peak of the 7th rank. Inner world. Lin Yuan once again carefully felt the inner world inside his Dantian Qi Sea. Although it was only 10 miles in radius, it was a complete world, its aura circulating perfectly. As long as Lin Yuan wished, outsiders couldn't detect the existence of the inner world. My God! Lin Yuan slightly raised his head, looking in the direction of battlefield C24763. With the breakthrough of his real body, even the Taiyin primordial spirit began to transform, its primordial spirit power becoming more and more pure, instantly reaching the 7th rank. It's a pity. The primordial spirit doesn't have a physical body and cannot give birth to an inner world. Lin Yuan shook his head lightly. However, if the Yin spirit and Yang spirit are combined, evolve Taiji, and are combined with an understanding of space rules, perhaps it could give birth to a phantom spiritual world? Lin Yuan speculated in his mind. A single Taiyin and Taiyang, even with the integration of space rules, couldn't form a complete world, but combined, it's different. Have the teachers arrived? Lin Yuan glanced outside, immediately got up, and walked out of the hall. Teacher. Fellow apprentice brothers. Lin Yuan came out and smiled. He didn't intend to conceal his breakthrough to the 7th rank, and it couldn't be concealed either. In human civilization, as long as Lin Yuan was part of the human race, the more terrifying his talent, the greater the resource tilt he would receive. Good disciple. Chikuin Star Lord smiled and looked at Lin Yuan. In less than 2 years, you've stepped into the 7th rank. That is much stronger than your teacher back then. Chikuin Star Lord himself took thousands of years to step into the 7th rank. However, Chikuin Star Lord's true form was the Starry Sky Wanderer Kuin. Such special beings generally require a long time to break through. And here, a long time is relative to the human race. The lifespans of special beings are generally calculated in millions of years, and so-called thousands of years are just a few naps. Many special beings sleep for a few hundred or thousand years at a time, equivalent to half a lifetime for an ordinary human race evolver. Little junior brother, slow down your cultivation. Any faster and you'll surpass me. Third senior brother jokingly said from the side. In the Red Kuan lineage, the Great Peak Master is a 7th rank Peak King, while the 2nd and 3rd Peak Masters are 7th rank Marquis level. Lin Yuan had just entered the 7th rank and, in the eyes of his 3rd senior brother, was at the Marquis level within the 7th rank. So, the 3rd senior brother believed Lin Yuan hadn't surpassed him yet. However, in terms of pure combat power, perhaps only Chikuin Starlord could suppress Lin Yuan. Otherwise, even the eldest senior brother might not be his match. Chapter 313. There's no choice. The power of the world is too overpowered. Little Master. Zhugu and the others exchanged glances, hesitant to speak. There's no need to change how we address each other, my fellow brothers. Seeing this, Lin Yuan immediately spoke up. Ever since joining the Red Kuan lineage, his senior brothers, like Zhugu and the others, had taken great care of Lin Yuan, and their interactions were always pleasant. In such a situation, Lin Yuan didn't feel that stepping into the 7th rank made him superior to others. Therefore, maintaining the previous form of address was fine by him. Ha ha ha, my good disciple. If you do this, won't they lack the motivation to cultivate hard? As Zhugu and the others' faces lit up with joy, Chikuin Star Lord glared at the former. Teacher. The faces of Zhugu and the others immediately soured. This has nothing to do with whether one has the motivation or not. Okay. Not everyone has the talent of our little brother here. For him, stepping into the 7th rank was as simple as eating and drinking. All right, my good disciple. Stepping into the 7th rank at your age is extremely rare in the entire history of the Anand Star Alliance. Chikuin Star Lord's expression grew serious. But don't get arrogant. With your talent, reaching the 7th rank isn't much. The 8th layer is your target, or even surpassing the 8th layer. Let's not talk about surpassing the 8th layer for now. Let's first discuss the 8th layer. Chikuin Star Lord said, pausing for a moment before continuing. To break through to the 8th layer, there are 3 prerequisite conditions. First, one must open up an inner world. For a 7th rank evolver, an inner world is the foundation of their being, and manipulating the power of the world is the most powerful method for an evolver of the 8th layer. Indeed, Lin Yuan nodded. He had also opened up his inner world and deeply understood this point. Second, one must have a sufficiently strong mental will. This can only rely on oneself. Without strong mental willpower, one might fall into a state of decline during the breakthrough to the 8th layer. By then, even if one has opened up an inner world, it would be in vain, akin to being a living dead. Chikuin Star-Lord said this, his tone slightly grave. To open up an inner world, one could employ certain methods to assist, such as the world fruit. Of course, the world fruit is too luxurious, but treasures just a notch below it could still offer substantial help. But mental willpower, that could only be accumulated by oneself. Many 7th rank evolvers in history have failed at this step. Understood. Lin Yuan nodded. To put it simply, if using the terms of the immortal Tao world as an example, then breaking from the 7th to the 8th rank would require facing the heart demon tribulation. The heart demon tribulation emerges from within the heart. External objects are of no use. One can only rely on oneself. Chikuin Star-Lord emphasized this point precisely because Lin Yuan was very young, and perhaps not adept at dealing with inner demons. Normally speaking, the longer one lives, the more one experiences, the higher the chances of overcoming the heart demon tribulation. Third, when you reach the limit of the 7th rank, you will naturally understand. Chikuin Star-Lord did not elaborate further, feeling that it was unnecessary for Lin Yuan, who had just entered the 7th rank, to know too much. All right, it's time for us to go back. You've just stepped into the 7th rank. Take some time to get familiar with your power. Chikuin Star-Lord glanced at the big senior brother and said, "The news of your brother's breakthrough will be announced by you." Yes. The big senior brother nodded and smiled. Right now, everyone outside is speculating about which peak master has stepped into the 7th rank. Chikuin Main Star. Many forces were looking forward with great anticipation, waiting for the Red Kuan lineage to announce the news. According to the Red Kuan lineage's tradition, the advancement of each peak master into the 7th rank was always heavily publicized. After all, the addition of another 7th rank enhances the lineage's foundation. I'm certain it must be the 4th peak master. Don't talk nonsense. The 6th peak master is the strongest. I like to go against the flow. I think it's the 12th peak master. The many forces were in a heated debate, with 7th rank evolvers who were familiar with several peak masters discreetly making contacts, hoping to get insider information. Yet none received a response from the peak masters. Half a day later, the Red Kuan lineage finally made public which peak master had stepped into the 7th rank. The announcement is out. Which peak master is it, exactly? Let me see, it's Peak Master Shursan stepping into the 7th rank. Huh? Peak Master Shursan. The many forces first fell into silence. They seemed to need a moment to figure out exactly who this Peak Master Shursan was. But shortly thereafter, there was an uproar. Peak Master Shursan? Isn't Peak Master Shursan the new disciple of the Star Lord? Right, not long ago, Peak Master Shursan had just stepped into the 6th rank. I remember that Peak Master Shursan came from some middle-grade life planet. Has Peak Master Shursan stepped into the 7th rank? Or is there some mistake? Countless forces were buzzing with conversation, some in disbelief. Even if it had been the 12th Peak Master stepping into the 7th rank, it would be more acceptable than Peak Master Shursan making such advancement. But the announcements issued by the Red Kuan lineage are never wrong. If it says it's the 13 Peak Master, then it certainly is the 13 Peak Master. My heavens! Just how terrifying is the talent of the 13 Peak Master. In less than 2 years, he has spanned from 6th rank to 7th rank. Whoa, in 2 years I'm still stuck at the 4th stage, 3rd class. I don't want to live. After the initial confusion on Chikuin Main Star, numerous powers immediately launched into even more frenetic discussions. Kanglin Star, compared to Chikuin Main Star, which detected right away that someone from the Red Kuan lineage had stepped into 7th rank. Kanglin Star didn't receive any news at all, and even if they had, they probably wouldn't have given it much thought. After all, even the countless citizens of Kanglin Star wouldn't believe that the Peak Master who entered 7th rank could be Lin Yuan, who had just become the 13 Peak Master 2 years prior. That was until the news released by the Red Kuan lineage spread. What? Lin Yuan has stepped into 7th rank. So fast. A few years ago, during the arena competition, wasn't Lin Yuan just at 5th rank? Now he's at 7th rank. The entire population of Kanglan Star, hundreds of billions of citizens, was completely stirred up after receiving the news. In actuality, Lin Yuan becoming a peak master and stepping into 7th rank didn't bring much tangible benefit to the vast majority of Kanglan Star's citizens. The so-called allocation of resources is something that would take hundreds of years to become noticeable. But Lin Yuan came from Kanglan Star, and now that Kanglan Star had produced such an important figure, all citizens of Kanglan Star felt a genuine sense of honor welling up from the bottom of their hearts. 13 Peak Master of the Red Kuan lineage. The high and mighty 7th rank Evolver. An extraordinary figure that many high-grade life planets can't produce. And he hails from their Kanglan Star? Wanyang Star Domain. Wanyang Holy Land. The Wanyang Holy Sun sat crossed-legged on the surface of a sun, swallowing huge amounts of light and heat into his mouth. As a rare carrier of the 9-yang divine meridian, the Wanyang Holy Sun was almost immune to scorching heat and had an extremely high affinity for the laws of the fire system. Now that he had stepped into 6th rank, he could even walk and cultivate on the surface of a sun. Keep in mind, even 6th rank peak evolvers wouldn't dare to approach a sun casually. 6th rank evolvers are said to be capable of striking down ordinary stars. But that's only talking about ordinary planets, whereas a sun, to be called a sun, its volume must be at least tens of millions of times that of an ordinary planet. The cultivation ended. The Wanyang Holy Sun connected to the virtual world. Rejected again? The Wanyang Holy Sun glanced at the challenge he had applied for. Ever since stepping into 6th rank, he would challenge Lin Yuan every once in a while. After all, during the limit of 5th rank, Lin Yuan's last 3 slaps had made him spit blood and concede defeat voluntarily. A shame that the Wanyang Holy Sun couldn't wash away from his mind. Now having entered 6th rank, with the 9-yang divine meridian further developed, in addition to the many secret techniques of the Wanyang Holy Land, the Wanyang Holy Sun believed he could regain his honor. Could it be that he dares not? The Wanyang Holy Sun wore a puzzled expression. To him, Lin Yuan repeatedly rejecting his challenge could only mean one thing. Whoosh! Just then, a black-haired elder appeared. Your Highness! The black-haired elder bowed slightly to the Wanyang Holy Sun. What is it? The Wanyang Holy Sun was contemplating the matter with Lin Yuan and asked casually. Your Highness, you asked me to keep an eye on the news about the 13 Peak Master of the Red Kuan lineage. The black-haired elder inquired carefully. Oh, what news? The Wanyang Holy Sun suddenly showed interest. To him, Lin Yuan had special significance, so he had instructed his subordinates to pay more attention to news related to Lin Yuan. Your Highness, I have just received news that a peak master of the Red Kuan lineage has stepped into 7th rank. The black-haired elder paused, speaking with increased caution. Oh! Upon hearing this, the Wanyang Holy Sun's interest waned. He was only interested in the 13 peak master. As for other peak masters of the Red Kuan lineage stepping into 7th rank, what did that have to do with him? The rise of a 7th rank evolver is indeed a major event for a star domain. But looking at the Star Alliance and even other nearby star alliances, almost every so often an evolver steps into 7th rank. Your Highness, the peak master who has stepped into 7th rank, the black-haired elder persisted, is the 13 peak master. The Wanyang Holy Sun was momentarily taken aback, then reacted with a start, standing up and staring at the black-haired elder. What did you say? Chapter 314, The Second Chikuan Star Lord, Convening of the Star Alliance Conference. Wanyang Holy Sun was somewhat bewildered. He almost thought he had heard wrong. But at his level it was impossible to mishear. The black-haired elder had indeed said, "It is the peak master of 13 peaks who has stepped into 7th rank." This was beyond doubt. So, Wanyang Holy Sun could only wonder, had the black-haired elder misspoken? For instance, had he mistakenly added the word 3, and it was actually the peak master of 10 who had advanced to 7th rank? Your Highness, when I first received this message, I also found it absurd, but afterwards it was confirmed repeatedly, over and over again, the result was the same. The black-haired elder spoke cautiously. He was well aware of how desperately Wanyang Holy Sun had wanted to battle the Peak Master of 13 Peaks, and how deeply the challenge at the limit of 5th rank had impacted Wanyang Holy Sun. All along, Wanyang Holy Sun had been on a smooth path, endowed with the 9 Yang Divine Meridian, and further supported by Wanyang Star Lord's cultivation. This made Wanyang Holy Sun far ahead of his peers. However, on that stage, the Peak Master of 13 Peaks shattered Wanyang Holy Sun's confidence with 3 slaps. That overwhelming battle made Wanyang Holy Sun admit defeat and immediately begin closed-door cultivation, striving to reach 6th rank. Compared to other evolvers, Wanyang Holy Sun's 9 Yang Divine Meridian, upon stepping into 6th rank, would undergo a transformation, something not found in other 6th rank evolvers. It was precisely because of this. Knowing Lin Yuan's formidable strength, which was displayed at the peak of 5th rank, and would only be more frightening after advancing to 6th rank, Wanyang Holy Sun still confidently initiated a challenge request. However, Lin Yuan declined several times, which puzzled Wanyang Holy Sun. And now, Wanyang Holy Sun fell silent. His consciousness began connecting to the virtual network. He quickly saw the announcement issued by Red Kuan lineage. Below the announcement, countless evolvers left comments, all shocked by the Peak Master of 13 Peaks stepping into 7th rank. Wanyang Holy Sun carefully read through the announcement, and read it several times over before sitting down again. The Peak Master of 13 Peaks. Wanyang Holy Sun's gaze was complex. He did not doubt the authenticity of the announcement. Such announcements released by Red Kuan lineage carry high authority, undergoing multiple verifications, and ultimately must be authorized by the Star Lord before their release. Since Red Kuan lineage dared to issue this announcement and so much time had passed without any changes, this meant the Peak Master who stepped into the 7th rank is indeed the Peak Master of 13 Peaks. Given the status of Chikuan Star Lord, there was no need to lie about who had advanced to 7th rank, as it would soon become evident. How could it be this fast? Wanyang Holy Sun was somewhat lost. Stepping into 7th rank wasn't something one could just decide to achieve. It required sufficient accumulation and inherent foundation. Wanyang Holy Sun believed he had enough accumulated foundation, but even attempting to reach 7th rank would need at least 10 to several decades. This was despite the fact that Wanyang Holy Sun had been sealed in a Wanyang True Crystal, and cast into a star to sleep for nearly 100 years upon birth. Effectively, during those 100 years, Wanyang Holy Sun was always in a state of cultivation, but all that cultivation simply accumulated into his foundation, just awaiting his transition to 6th rank to gradually come to fruition. To think I still wanted to challenge him? Wanyang Holy Sun's smile was somewhat mocking. He had wondered why the Peak Master of 13 Peaks had repeatedly declined his requests. Could it be that he was scared? Now it seemed that the Peak Master probably felt that accepting the challenge would be bullying him. Your Highness, you're all right? The black-haired elder asked tentatively, worried that with Wanyang Holy Sun's pride, he might not recover from this blow. Don't worry about me. Wanyang Holy Sun shook his head. Looking at the black-haired elder, he said, Go request a piece of Wanyang True Crystal from the teacher. I want to enter the star's interior for cultivation. The temperature inside a star is many times that of the surface. Wanyang Holy Sun, with his physical constitution, could manage to stay on the surface of a star for a while, but to dare enter the interior of a star would be suicidal. Yet, by relying on himself, unable to withstand the high temperatures inside the star, he could still use external objects, like the Wanyang True Crystal, a fire system rarity, to help Wanyang Holy Sun delve deeper into the star. With the terrifying heat and flames inside the star, even with the buffering isolation of Wanyang True Crystal, Wanyang Holy Sun would endure endless pain, and a slight mishap could turn him to ash. When Wanyang Holy Sun was first born, he was sealed into a Wanyang True Crystal, and thrown into a star's interior because Wanyang Star Lord used other methods. But that kind of method cannot be used a second time, so now, even with the protection of Wanyang True Crystal, Wanyang Holy Sun entering the interior of a star must still face a life risk. Your Highness, this is... The black-haired elder hesitated. Just do as I say. Wanyang Holy Sun's gaze was determined. So what if the peak master of 13 peaks entered 7th rank? Give him 5 or 10 years to cultivate painfully within the star, and he, too, could step into 7th rank. At that time he, Wanyang Holy Sun, would again challenge the peak master of 13 peaks. Chikuin Main Star. Deep within the 13 peaks Great Hall, Lin Yuan sat cross-legged, his consciousness connected to the virtual world. Personal space. The form of Lin Yuan appeared out of thin air. After synchronizing his power level, Lin Yuan's physical soul in the virtual world also reached the 7th rank tier. And with no difference from reality, deep within his Dantian Chi Si, a Taiji small world slowly revolved. Simulate a cosmic environment. With a slight thought from Lin Yuan, the surroundings began to change. A constellation appeared, a massive star emitting light and heat in the distance, while 12 planets revolved around it. Phew! Lin Yuan withdrew his gaze. For a 7th rank evolver, only under the cosmic starry skies could they fully unleash their capabilities, as ordinary planets rather serve as shackles. Chapter 3:15. Of course, battlefields of different races measured in light-years can also withstand the expansion of 7th rank and even 8th rank evolvers. Boom boom boom. Lin Yuan slightly activated the power of the world and raised his right hand, striking a distant planet from afar. Boom boom boom. The immense power, traveling through the vacuum, propagated continuously, with space faintly warping. Soon, a planet millions of kilometers away exploded into countless fragments with a bang, shooting off in all directions. A casual strike can shatter a star. A smile appeared on Lin Yuan's face. Although 6th rank evolvers known as Fallen Star Warriors could down stars, it would take their full strength and at least several strikes to penetrate a planet. As for turning a planet into countless fragments, it's estimated that only a 6th rank peak evolver could achieve that. Yet Lin Yuan did it with a casual strike, without even using an understanding of the rules, relying only on the enhancement of the world's power. The power of the world is too abnormal. Lin Yuan felt somewhat emotional. The difference between having the power of the world's enhancement and not having it was stark. My inner world is currently only 10 li in size. The power of the world it has given rise to is this formidable. If it were to reach the standard of an 8th rank evolver 100 li in size, wouldn't that be? Lin Yuan's expression was full of anticipation. Of course, Lin Yuan was also aware. Even if the inner world grew to 100 li wide, it would be hard to compete with a true 8th rank evolver. After all, 8th rank evolvers possess not just an inner world. The understanding of the rules by their physical soul and so on far surpasses that of 7th rank evolvers in every aspect. To step into the 8th rank, the first requirement is to open up an inner world, which I have already achieved, so there's no need to worry. Lin Yuan disconnected from the virtual world and returned to reality. Opening up an inner world in advance was immensely beneficial to Lin Yuan. Combat power was secondary. More importantly, by observing the operation of the inner world, Lin Yuan could achieve a deeper understanding of the rules. Although the inner world was far from comparable to the main world universe Starry Sky, even less to the 5 worlds that Lin Yuan had previously traveled through. But it was, after all, a complete world. No matter how small a mosquito is, it is still alive. As for the second point, I need a sufficiently resolute spiritual will to face the heart demon tribulation when breaking through to the 8th rank. Lin Yuan fell into contemplation. Unlike strength, spiritual will is hard to measure. Maybe the spiritual will of some ordinary mortals is even stronger than that of 6th rank or 7th rank evolvers. Take it slow, there's no rush. Lin Yuan thought to himself. One method among many evolvers in the main world for strengthening their spiritual will was to live. Only by living through the long years, surviving thousands or even tens of thousands of years, experiencing various emotions, and witnessing the passing of close friends and loved ones right before one's eyes, etc. The spiritual will naturally grow slowly, finally reaching the level needed to withstand the heart demon tribulation. The time and years I've spent traveling through other worlds should also be tempering my spiritual will, right? Lin Yuan was in a good mood. At the frontier regions of human civilization, several terrifying wills penetrated through and descended. What's going on? Wasn't it said that Shursan Peak Master's talents were just stronger than the other Peak Masters? How has he stepped into the 7th rank in just a few years? Is this what you call slightly stronger? The leading consciousness let out a huge mental fluctuation and roared. Just spending less than 2 years to progress from the initial 6th rank to stepping into the 7th rank, such talent, if allowed to grow for hundreds or thousands of years, then what? If they had known about Shursan Peak Master's talent earlier, the several large clans would have tried to eliminate him at all costs, even if it required a great sacrifice. It's better to pay the price now. It's much better than paying the price on the battlefields against other races in the future. I'm not sure either. Who was it that determined Shursan Peak Master's talent back then? They must be severely punished. The second consciousness immediately spoke with a stern tone, as if determined to get to the bottom of it. Actually, it's not even the fault of the subordinates. Shursan Peak Master was too low profile, except when he was about to break through the 6th rank, and began challenging the 5th rank evolvers of various star domains, who knew Shursan Peak Master's details. The third consciousness couldn't help but interject. This was indeed the case. Brilliant evolvers like Wanyang Holy Sun had their information widely spread across many star domains. But what about Shursan Peak Master? It's pointless to talk about this now. What should we do? The fourth consciousness sent out mental fluctuations. What should we do? What can we do now? The first will that roared out spoke somewhat helplessly. Now that Peak Master Shursan had stepped into the 7th rank, trying to kill him with a curse was simply not realistic anymore. And even if they succeeded in cursing him to death, given the talent disclosed by Peak Master Shursan, it was estimated that a supreme being would immediately take action to resurrect him, without even having to wait. Indeed, there's no chance anymore. Peak Master Shursan is too cautious. After stepping into the 6th rank, he has always stayed on the Chikuan main star, never venturing out. Right? If he doesn't come out, what can we do? Several consciousnesses exchanged thoughts constantly, their tones filled with helplessness. Perhaps, thousands of years from now, in the battlefields we open up with the human race, a second Chikuan Star Lord might emerge. By then, who knows how many of our people will die? The first consciousness fell silent for a moment. A second Chikuan Star Lord? The rest of the consciousnesses shuddered at the thought. The Chikuan Star Lord, that was a nearly invincible existence among the 8th layer evolvers. Even in a medium-sized otherworldly battlefield, the Chikuan Star Lord was formidable enough to run rampant. As the bodily incarnation Starry Sky Wanderer Kuan, he was unbridled and had devoured countless other 8th layer evolvers of different species. Only the lofty 9th rank alien race could make the Chikuan Star Lord a little wary. On the Chikuan main star, Lin Yuan was about to continue his cultivation. Just then, the voice of the smart assistant suddenly rang out. Master, the Star Alliance Conference is about to convene. Do you wish to participate? The Star Alliance Conference? Lin Yuan was slightly startled. Information about the Star Alliance Conference flashed quickly through his mind. The Star Alliance Conference, also known as the Anand Star Alliance Conference. It was a grand event of the Anand Star Alliance, held once every century. The Anand Star Alliance is a massive alliance made up of hundreds of star domains. With complex internal relationships, the division of interests among many star domains could not be resolved in a short time. Therefore, the Star Alliance Conference was established. The purpose of the Star Alliance Conference was to resolve the many internal conflicts within the Anand Star Alliance. As for why the 3 goddesses did not intervene, they were absolutely just, but there were some issues that could not be resolved by justice alone and could provoke greater hidden dangers instead. Additionally, the Star Alliance Conference also made changes to all policies within the alliance to better suit the customs of its citizens. The Chikuan Star Domain was one of the powerful star domains within the Anand Star Alliance. Therefore, the smart assistant asked Lin Yuan if he wished to participate in the Star Alliance conference. Of course, not just anyone could participate in the Star Alliance conference. At such a level that related to the decision-making for a star domain, one had to be at least a 6th-level citizen to have the qualification and right to intervene. Not long ago, before Lin Yuan undertook his 5th passage, he had accumulated enough merits to ascend to a 6th-level citizen and casually had his citizen level raised to the 6th level. Now he had the qualifications to participate in the Star Alliance conference. A 6th-level citizen merely met the threshold to participate in the Star Alliance conference. They had the right to vote, whereas 7th-level citizens would automatically become members of parliament of the Anand Star Alliance with real decision-making power. The Star Alliance conference? Lin Yuan thought for a moment. He was not normally interested in such activities, but if it were not for the immense importance of the Star Alliance conference, which could determine the situation and status of hundreds of star domains, and because Lin Yuan had reached the threshold for participation, the smart assistant probably wouldn't have reminded him specially. I understand. Lin Yuan nodded, dismissing the smart assistant. Should I attend or not? Lin Yuan pondered in his heart. Forget it. Lin Yuan shook his head slightly. No matter how important the Star Alliance conference was, it held no meaning for him. He would be better off using that time to further understand the rules and perfect the 7th rank chapter of his Martial Path Evolutionary Path. Chapter 316. Campaigning Well water does not offend river water. No matter which world you're in, power is the foundation of everything. If the Star Alliance conference can't bring Lin Yuan substantial help, then there's no need to waste energy on it. Should I still ask about it? Lin Yuan finished his training for the day and connected his consciousness to the virtual world. Personal space. A burly red-nosed old man sat leisurely at a dining table, occasionally lifting the wine jug in front of him to take a sip, his face full of enjoyment. Just then, Lin Yuan's figure appeared. Ha ha ha, Shur-san. Come over here. This wine is truly excellent. A rarity. Out there, I couldn't afford it. I can only enjoy it in the virtual world. The red-nosed elder immediately called out. Shur-feng, old brother, every time I see you you're drinking. Lin Yuan walked over and sat opposite the red-nosed elder. The red-nosed elder, Shur-feng, was a good friend Lin Yuan had made in the Founder's Circle, and he was also a founder of an evolution path. Since both were from the Anand Star Alliance, the red-nosed elder, Shur-feng, would often pull Lin Yuan along to drink. Over time, the two became familiar with each other. Compared to Lin Yuan, Shur-feng was much older, having lived for tens of thousands of years, and his citizen level had also reached level 6. Wine is such a wonderful thing, that feeling of being tipsy, the red-nosed elder, Shur-feng, remarked nostalgically. With his strength, he could sober up with just a thought, but why should he? Wasn't it nice to indulge in the state of inebriation? Good wine. Lin Yuan picked up a cup and took a small taste before nodding slightly. In the virtual world, wine was a pure luxury. Many fine wines in reality had miraculous effects, such as improving the body, nourishing the soul, or healing injuries, among others. But in the virtual world, wine was left only with its taste. Precisely because of this, the wine in the virtual world was much cheaper than in reality. The wine Lin Yuan had just drunk, called dream wine, could purify one's soul. In the real world, a single cup would cost at least 1 billion civilization currency. But in the virtual world it was merely 10 million per cup, 100 times cheaper. All right, Shur-san. You came to see me for something, didn't you? After some casual conversation, Shur-feng took the initiative to ask. That was the name Lin Yuan had given himself in the Founder's world. I wanted to inquire about the Star Alliance conference, Lin Yuan asked directly. Although Lin Yuan wasn't particularly interested in such conferences, he still wanted to hear what Shur-feng thought. As a fellow citizen of level 6, Shur-feng, who had lived for tens of thousands of years, had much better connections and insight than Lin Yuan. The Star Alliance conference? Oh, it's time for the Star Alliance conference again. The red-nosed Shur-feng suddenly realized. Shur-feng, old brother, Do you think it's necessary to attend the Star Alliance conference? Lin Yuan shared his doubts. Necessary to attend? The red-nosed Shifeng instantly perked up. Of course you should participate. Why pass up on a chance for free treasures? Free? Lin Yuan was slightly puzzled. Could the Anand Star Alliance be so wealthy as to give treasures to every level 6 citizen that attended the conference? That's true. You're still young, Shirsan, only recently advanced to a level 6 citizen, and not familiar with the rules here. A smile appeared on the face of the red-nosed Shifeng. The purpose of the Star Alliance conference is to resolve many interstellar conflicts within the Alliance, but how are they resolved? For instance, who should own a rare resource planet that appears on the border of 2 star domains? Or, when the resources allocated by human civilization are only sufficient for 3-star domains, how should we choose? The red-nosed Shifeng said, clicking his tongue. Right, to whom should they go? Lin Yuan also became interested. Such questions were difficult to delineate clearly. Even if the 3 goddesses intervened, siding with one party would surely offend the other. Could it be that they would split the resource planet in half, giving each party an equal share? That's where we come in. The red-nosed Shifeng smiled. At the Star Alliance conference, the issues between star domains are brought to the table, and ultimately, we vote to decide. The side with more votes wins. So that's how it is, Lin Yuan realized. Of course, issues that made it to the Star Alliance conference were usually those where both sides had equally valid arguments. Slightly clearer controversies would have already been adjudicated by the 3 goddesses. So, our voting rights as level 6 citizens are very precious. The red-nosed Shifeng hinted. Precious? Lin Yuan looked towards the red-nosed Shifeng. Because the 2 conflicting star domains will pay a huge price to curry favor with us, hoping we will cast our votes for them during the conference resolution. The red-nosed Shifeng said. I see. Lin Yuan nodded. In simple terms, when facing issues even the 3 goddesses could not decide upon, or rather, no matter which side wins, it wouldn't affect the overall situation of human civilization. Then it was left to the higher-level citizens to determine. The unsolvable conflicts between star domains are not many, and each Star Alliance conference has only about a dozen or so. Shirsan, as long as it doesn't involve your star domain, how we vote is up to us, isn't it? The red-nosed Shifeng said with a grin. Quite interesting. Lin Yuan laughed as well. In fact, this was also a reflection of the special status of high-level citizens, being part of the decision-making powers for hundreds of star domains. Besides, after every Star Alliance conference, we higher-level citizens will hold a few swap meets while we're still around, to exchange for the resources and treasures we need. The red-nosed Shifeng continued. Chapter 317. Although the Human Civilization Alliance has a dedicated marketplace app for selling all kinds of treasures, some rare and precious treasures are often in short supply, and these exchange meetings exist for such rare and valuable items. This is actually pretty good. Lin Yuan thought of the weapons and treasures of several different species he had acquired on the battlefields of different races, as well as the inheritance from the 8th layer evolutionist Oin. Many of them were items he didn't need. Selling them directly to human civilization would be too much of a loss. Instead, it would be possible to dispose of them through these exchange meetings. Are you now participating or not? Shifeng asked. I'll participate. Lin Yuan nodded. The premise of his lack of interest in the Star Alliance conference was that it was unable to bring any benefit to himself. But now, after hearing Shifeng's description, for 6th-level citizens like them, participating in the Star Alliance conference could be very profitable. Ha 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 ha. Shifeng laughed heartily. By the way, Shirsan, do you need me to introduce you to those star domains that need votes? Shifeng inquired. If Lin Yuan had no star domains in mind to vote for, he could sell his vote at a high price to those star domains that needed it. Thanks a lot, Brother Shifeng. Lin Yuan replied seriously upon hearing this. Arranging such connections was not something the ordinary evolver could accomplish. It required someone with extensive connections. No need to thank me. We are friends. Shifeng waved his hand and then said, Just wait for me a moment, Shirsan. After Shi Feng finished speaking, his figure disappeared from sight. He obviously went to make contact. Lin Yuan sat down and waited for a while. A moment later, Shi Feng reappeared. Besides, a young man also appeared beside him. This is Shirsan. You can discuss your star domain's matters directly with him, said Shi Feng casually. Mr. Shirsan. The young man gave a slight bow to Lin Yuan and said, My name is Na Dan, from the Wangyue Starfield. This time, the conflict between our Wangyue Starfield and the Golden Dragon Star Domain will be brought up at the Star Alliance Conference. At that time, we hope that Mr. Shirsan will vote for our Wangyue Starfield. After speaking, the young man Na Dan respectfully placed a piece of white paper on the dining table. If Mr. Shirsan agrees, the resources of treasures listed above will be your reward. With a slight bow to Shi Feng, the young man Na Dan then stepped out of the personal space. TSK, Wangyue Starfield really has it tough. Less powerful than the Golden Dragon Star Domain, they can only seek help like this. Shi Feng remarked with a bit of emotion. Some powerful star domains have nurtured many 6th-level citizens who naturally vote for their homelands during the Star Alliance Conference. On the contrary, weaker star domains with few 6th-level citizens can only pay a huge price to seek help from 6th-level citizens of other star domains. The three goddesses are aware of this situation, yet they do not stop it, with the goal of motivating the various star domains to cultivate more high-level citizens. Becoming a high-level citizen doesn't require one to pioneer an evolution path or to engage in research and invention only. Heading to the battlefields of different races and fighting with different species could also earn a lot of merit points. Let's take a look at the terms given by the Wangyue Starfield. Shi Feng glanced at the piece of white paper in front of Lin Yuan. Wangyue Starfield? Lin Yuan thought for a moment. If he remembered correctly, this should be the home star domain of the 8th layer evolutionist Oin, shouldn't it? Let me take a look. Lin Yuan picked up the white paper, sharing the view with Shi Feng. A 7th rank soul defense treasure. Shi Feng was somewhat astonished. The first treasure listed on the white paper already had him intrigued. This was a soul defense treasure, essential for guarding the soul, coveted by evolvers from all evolution paths. A thought flickered in Lin Yuan's mind. Although he owned an 8th rank soul defense treasure, that one was damaged and the time required for repairing it was unknown. In the meantime, using a 7th rank soul defense treasure as a substitute would not be a problem. Lin Yuan wasn't worried about what to do with the 7th rank soul defense treasure after the 8th rank soul defense treasure was repaired. Treasures like these, which guard the soul, were never hard to dispose of. Lin Yuan could sell it at a premium whenever he wished. Lin Yuan's gaze moved away from the first line on the white paper. He looked at the second line. Fragment of Zhenmu, containing a great amount of life force, capable of remolding the flesh for a 7th rank evolver once. Comparing to the 7th rank soul defense treasure, the second item, the fragment of Zhenmu, was somewhat less impressive, especially for Lin Yuan, who possessed the blood rebirth divine skill. It's fairly superfluous. Yet just because Lin Yuan didn't need it didn't mean other evolvers wouldn't. It could be sold or traded for other items. Lin Yuan continued to look at the third line on the white paper. Aquamarine Vishuddha water can purify bodily impurities and consolidate the origin source of the flesh. The Wangyue Starfield is quite sincere. After looking at the three treasures, Lin Yuan nodded slightly. These three treasures were all desirable by 7th rank evolvers, especially the first one. I agree to their terms? Lin Yuan looked toward Shi Feng with the red nose. Whether it was the Wangyue Starfield or the Golden Dragon Star Domain, neither had much to do with Lin Yuan. Voting for either side wouldn't impact Lin Yuan much. Don't rush. Let's first see what the Golden Dragon Star Domain's attitude is. Having said that, Shi Feng disappeared once again. When Shi Feng returned, a tall man dressed in a golden robe appeared beside him. Jin Tianzhao, that Wangyue Starfield offered a not insignificant price for Shirsan's agreement. You'd have to up your game. Shi Feng reminded him. It was clear that the man in the golden robe, named Jin Tianzhao, came from the Golden Dragon Star domain. Mr. Shirsan. The man in the golden robe, Jin Tianzhao, scrutinized Lin Yuan carefully. Mr. Shirsan, is this your first time attending the Star Alliance conference? Jin Tianzhao inquired. Indeed it is. Lin Yuan nodded. The Star Alliance conference was held once every 100 years, and for a 6th-level citizen, a century wasn't that long. Even if some weren't well acquainted, they more or less knew each other. Since that's the case, Mr. Shirsan, do you know about the strength of my Golden Dragon Star domain? Jin Tianzhao continued to ask. Upon his inquiry, Lin Yuan remained unperturbed. However, Shifeng frowned. Jin Tianzhao, what do you mean by that? If you want Shirsan to vote for the Golden Dragon Star domain, then just present your offer instead of beating around the bush with all that nonsense. Offer? Jin Tianzhao shook his head. I'm here only to meet Mr. Shirsan and exchange a few words with him. Mr. Shirsan, you have recently become a 6th-level citizen. You shouldn't make an enemy of my Golden Dragon Star domain. Before Jin Tianzhao could finish, get lost. Shifeng, full of impatience, kicked the other person out of the personal space. This Jin Tianzhao is too arrogant. Who is he threatening? Shifeng appeared somewhat agitated. I thought that the Wangyue Starfield would put some pressure on the Golden Dragon Star domain, but they came straight with threats? No matter. Lin Yuan wasn't bothered. If an agreement couldn't be reached, then there was no need to negotiate. I'll go have a word with that Jin Tianzhao, see where he gets the guts from. Shifeng vanished once again. In another personal space, Shifeng glared at the man in the golden robe. What do you mean, Jin Tianzhao? Shirsan is a friend of mine. Even if you don't need Shirsan's vote, there's no need to put it that way. Shifeng's tone was dissatisfied. Shifeng, you should know, with the strength of my Golden Dragon Star domain, even if the Wangyue Starfield went around seeking help everywhere, they can't beat us. Jin Tianzhao stated indifferently. This was the confidence of coming from a powerful star domain. The Golden Dragon Star domain, with the 6th-level citizens it cultivated on its own, was the sum of several or even 10 star domains. Brother Shifeng, how long have you known Shirsan? You're this considerate of him already. You just like befriending those so-called friends. Jin Tianzhao shook his head as he spoke. So-called friends. Shifeng's expression turned peculiar. Although Shirsan just became a 6th-level citizen, he's definitely not over 1,000 years old. His future potential is limitless. Why else do you think I'd befriend him? Shifeng sighed. By treating Shirsan so disrespectfully, there's nothing I can do. But in a few thousand or tens of thousands of years, when Shirsan has grown stronger, I hope you can still act like you do today. A 6th-level citizen under 1,000 years old. Jin Tianzhao's expression shifted slightly, then he calmed down. So what? Is he going to become a 7th-level citizen in the future? Even if he becomes a 7th-level citizen, he's no threat to my Golden Dragon Star domain. It's simply that. Jin Tianzhao said lightly. We stay out of each other's business, that's all. Stay out of each other's business? Shifeng gave Jin Tianzhao a glance before turning and leaving. Stay out of each other's business? Who is the insignificant well water? And who is the boundless river water? Heaven knows. Chapter 318. Obtaining the Treasure. Personal Space. Lin Yuan raised the glass on the table and took a casual sip. This Golden Dragon Star domain is truly domineering. To actually threaten a 6th-level citizen? Lin Yuan put down the glass and shook his head slightly. But as 6th-level citizens, there are distinctions. Some evolvers became 6th-level citizens by slaying different species, earning a large number of merit points in the process. Others advanced to 6th-level citizenship through invention and research, breaking new ground in technological achievements. And there were evolvers like Lin Yuan who opened up an evolution path, ultimately advancing to 6th-level citizenship. Without a doubt, those who open up evolution paths are the rarest among 6th-level citizens. Lin Yuan and Shifeng belonged to this category, or rather, high-level citizens from the founder's virtual world all fall into this group. But no matter how rare, they were still only 6th-level citizens. Within the Human Civilization Alliance, 6th-level citizens have a very high status, but unless they hold important positions, they don't have much power. Ordinary evolvers and citizens dare not show any disrespect when they meet a 6th-level citizen. But the Golden Dragon Star domain is different. As one of the top 3 powerful star domains in the Anon Star Alliance, the Golden Dragon Star domain does not need to please other 6th-level citizens as much as the Wongyue Starfield strives to do. After all, the Golden Dragon Star domain itself has cultivated many 6th-level citizens and has numerous friends. Such is the confidence of a powerful star domain. That's also true. After all, I have not revealed my other identities. In the eyes of Jin Tianzhao, I am just a newly promoted 6th-level citizen, likely to remain so for the rest of my life, so there's no need to take me too seriously, Lin Yuan thought to himself. A 6th-level citizen who wishes to advance to 7th-level citizenship needs 2 million merit points. Such a vast amount of merit points gives even the Golden Dragon Star domain a headache, let alone a newly promoted 6th-level citizen. Nearly 99% of 6th-level citizens are unable to accumulate 2 million merit points in their lifetime. Shi-san. At this moment, Shi Feng returned and greeted Lin Yuan. That Jin Tianzhao, he's just like that. Too proud. Don't take it to heart. Shi Feng comforted. He only had a casual acquaintance with Jin Tianzhao. If it wasn't for the affair between the Wongyue Starfield and the Golden Dragon Star domain, he wouldn't have invited Jin Tianzhao over. It's fine, Lin Yuan said with a smile. It didn't matter whether it was Jin Tianzhao, or even the Golden Dragon Star domain. At most, they would make empty threats. As for going further, they wouldn't dare. The 3 goddesses of the Human Alliance were not for show. Prohibiting escalation of internal conflicts was a red line. Besides, even if Jin Tianzhao wanted to do something, he did not know Lin Yuan's true identity. The identity that Lin Yuan showed to the outside world was, at most, that of a 6th-level citizen of the Anon Star Alliance with good relations with Shi Feng, a member of the Founder's World. More than that, perhaps Shi Feng guessed that Lin Yuan was not very old. But that was all. But the Golden Dragon Star domain is indeed powerful, having independently opened up 3 battlefields of different races, fighting against 3 species with the strength of a single domain. Shi Feng said in amazement. The Golden Dragon Star Master is indeed remarkable. Lin Yuan nodded. The might of the Golden Dragon Star Master was not inferior to that of Chikuan Star Lord, belonging to the level of invincible existence among 8th-layer evolvers. In the vast Anon Star Alliance with hundreds of star domains, there were more than 1,000 8th-layer evolvers, but only a few were on the same level as Chikuan Star Lord and Golden Dragon Star Master. With such a Star Master at its helm, the Golden Dragon Star domain already possessed the strength to independently open up battlefields of different races. To the Golden Dragon Star domain, these battlefields were a source of copious merit points as well as a training ground for their evolvers. Indeed, the Chikuan Star domain had also independently opened up 4 battlefields of different races. However, the ones in the Chikuan Star domain did not have permanent spatial rifts. Permanent spatial rifts can only be formed by the powers of a supreme being. The power of a supreme being referred to here does not require the supreme being to act personally. Supreme weapons can also achieve this, but the permanent spatial rifts they create are far smaller than those formed by a supreme being's direct intervention. Even so, most battlefields of different races do not possess permanent spatial rifts. Alright, don't worry too much about Jin Tianzhao. With Shi-san's talent, he'll have his comeuppance in the future. Shi Feng said, seemingly probing. Through his interactions with Lin Yuan, he felt that Lin Yuan must be quite young. He definitely would not exceed 1,000 years old. At such a young age to have advanced to 6th-level citizenship and to be a member of the Founder's World, clearly the evolution path he opened was no simple feat.
You jest, Shi Feng.
What means do I have to make the Golden Dragon Star domain suffer? Lin Yuan said with a laugh. If Shi Feng had known Lin Yuan's real age in the main world was not yet 30, he would probably not probe but first make sure he wasn't dreaming. So now do I choose the Wongyue Starfield? Lin Yuan asked. Since the Golden Dragon Star domain had no intention of compensating him, Lin Yuan's vote would naturally go to the Wangyue Starfield. After all, he was rather covetous of that 7th-rank Soul Defense treasure. It could be useful for a while. No rush, no rush. As 6th-level citizens, we only have one vote in each Star Alliance conference. Let's wait and see. As long as it doesn't concern our home star domain or any star domain with which we have a history, we'll support whoever offers the best price, Shifeng said. Any issue brought up at the Star Alliance conference would be such that, regardless of which side triumphed, there would be no significant impact on the overall situation of human civilization. Chapter 319. It was because of this that the 3 goddesses had entrusted decision-making power to higher-level citizens. It was also one of the hidden benefits belonging to higher-level citizens. Next, Shifeng brought over 7 or 8 evolvers. They were representatives from various star domains of the Anon Star Alliance. These evolvers were quite courteous to Lin Yuan, as powerful star domains like the Golden Dragon Star domain were rare. Furthermore, with proud individuals such as Jin Tianzhao, such people were even rarer. Generally speaking, everyone was quite polite to 6th-level citizens. Even if their negotiations did not succeed, there would be no threats, because there was no point in it. How about it? Have you made your choice? Shifeng looked at Lin Yuan with interest. He had already reached an agreement with a certain star domain. The offer from that star domain also satisfied Shifeng. Now he was mainly curious about Lin Yuan's choice. Let's go with Wangyue Starfield. Lin Yuan thought for a moment and then spoke. The representatives from the other 7 or 8 star domains had conditions that matched those of Wangyue Starfield. Logically speaking, Lin Yuan's choice of any one of them would have been similar. However, Lin Yuan did possess the legacy of 8th-layer evolutionist Oyin. And Wangyue Starfield was Oyin's home star domain. In such a situation, with conditions being equal, Lin Yuan naturally leaned towards Wangyue Starfield. Good. Shifeng nodded. He immediately contacted the young man Na Dan from Wangyue Starfield. A moment later, the young man Na Dan appeared in the personal space. Thank you, Mr. Shirsan, for your assistance. I represent Wangyue Starfield, and we are immensely grateful. The young man Na Dan spoke with a slightly respectful tone. His offer was no different from several others, and Lin Yuan choosing him naturally warranted thanks. We each take what we need. Lin Yuan waved his hand and said casually. He was not helping Wangyue Starfield for nothing. This is the password for Shuntong Group's Safebox. Mr. Shirsan only needs to log onto the Shuntong Group website, enter the Safebox service, and then he can access the reward. The young man Na Dan sent Lin Yuan a string of numbers. Shuntong Group, being the largest transport group in the Human Civilization Alliance, took privacy very seriously in their Safebox service. The young man Na Dan placed the treasure in a Safebox of the Shuntong Group and then handed over the password to Lin Yuan. With the password, Lin Yuan could claim ownership of the rewards in the Safebox, and then just have Shuntong Group deliver it. The entire process was such that neither party knew the other's location, the delivery location, and so on. In this respect, with Human Civilization's assurance, it was absolutely trustworthy. Even Chikuan Star Lords like 8th-layer invincible beings used the transport services of Shuntong Group. Good. Lin Yuan wrote down the password and nodded. Shirsan, about that soul defense treasure, if you ever decide not to keep it, you must tell me. I will buy it for the highest price. Shifeng immediately said. He was also very eager to have that soul defense treasure. But alas, compared to another treasure, Shifeng still chose the latter. Certainly. Lin Yuan nodded. The 7th-rank soul defense treasure was only for transition. Once Lin Yuan stepped into the 8th rank, or repaired that 8th-rank soul defense treasure, he naturally wouldn't need the 7th-rank soul defense treasure. Every time the Star Alliance Assembly convenes, we 6th-level citizens have only voting rights. As for actual decision-making, it's still those counselors. Shifeng said with a sigh. The prerequisite for being a counselor in the Anon Star Alliance is being a 7th-level citizen. Although the difference is only one level between a 6th and 7th-level citizen, In terms of status and privileges, it's a qualitative change. Not a single 6th-level citizen does not yearn to become a 7th-level citizen, but mere yearning is useless. It also requires a tremendous amount of merit points to meet the requirements for promotion to a 7th-level citizen. 7th-level citizen. Lin Yuan's expression became slightly serious. For a 6th-level citizen to be promoted to a 7th-level citizen, 2 million merit points are needed, akin to killing 2 8th-rank aliens on the battlefields of different species. The most crucial thing is, killing these 2 8th-rank aliens must be done by the original body. Avatar kills wouldn't possibly yield 1 million merit points. That is, only by completely killing 2 8th-rank aliens can one gain 2 million merit points. This is too difficult. Chikuin Star-Lord had dominated the battlefields of different races, swallowing countless 8th-rank aliens in the guise of the Starry Sky Wanderer Kuin. However, most of those 8th-rank aliens were merely avatars. As for their true forms, they had long been hiding somewhere unknown. Chikuin Main Star. Lin Yuan stepped out of the Grand Hall. Shortly after, a spaceship landed. From inside, a fiercely gazing staff member exited. Here are the items for your shipment. Please sign for them. The staff member, possessing at least the power of the 7th rank, was a high-star employee of Shuntong Group, specifically responsible for the transport of valuable items. Good. Lin Yuan nodded. The payment from Na Dan, a young man from the Wangyue Starfield, was transported through Shuntong Group. With the service standard of the safe deposit box business, it was quickly delivered. Drip. Lin Yuan confirmed his identity and smoothly accepted it. Serving you is an honor for us at Shuntong. The fiercely gazing staff member gave a slight bow to Lin Yuan and then returned to the spaceship. In the depths of the Grand Hall, Lin Yuan began to examine the treasures. The first was that 7th-rank soul defense treasure. It was a palm-sized jade pendant, exhibiting a faint pink color. After Lin Yuan refined it, the jade pendant transformed into flowing light, entered his sea of consciousness, and guarded his soul. Not bad. Lin Yuan nodded slightly. Although he was deep in Chikuin Main Star, where he presumably wouldn't encounter any dangers, having such a treasure was better than none, especially since this soul defense treasure was not purchased by Lin Yuan himself. It was an unexpected gain. Jianmu fragment. Lin Yuan took out the second treasure. It was a piece of tree fragment, its surface subtly charred black. Merely by looking at it, Lin Yuan felt, deep in the cosmic starry skies, a colossal divine tree supporting the heavens and the earth was slightly swaying. Is that Jianmu? Lin Yuan closed his eyes and felt slightly amazed in his heart. Jianmu was a dominator-level powerhouse deep in the cosmos, belonging to plant life. Its mere size spanned beyond 10 light-years, indeed a colossal entity. Even the Chikuin Star-Lord dared not approach the true form of Jianmu. As for this fragment of Jianmu, it came from a thunder tribulation that Jianmu underwent every 100,000 years, fragments that were shattered during the tribulation. Heavenly azure water. Lin Yuan turned to the third treasure. This water could purify impurities in the flesh and solidify the origin of the flesh, useful for any evolver. Let's try it. Lin Yuan absorbed a drop of heavenly azure water. Immediately, he felt a special power begin to spread to his limbs. Truly marvelous. A smile appeared on Lin Yuan's face, as he keenly felt its effects. Golden Dragon Star Domain. On a pure gold-colored planet. Jin Tianzhao, dressed in a golden robe, hesitated for a moment before deciding to see his teacher. Tianzhao, what is it? The Golden Dragon Star Master's eyes shone gold, his presence majestic, as if transcending the cosmic starry skies. Teacher, a few days ago, due to the matters of the Star Alliance Conference, I threatened a 7th-level citizen who supported the Wangyue Starfield a few times. Jin Tianzhao spoke truthfully. If Lin Yuan were just an ordinary 7th-level citizen, he wouldn't care much. But that comment from Shifeng, about Lin Yuan's true age possibly being less than 1,000 years, had unsettled Jin Tianzhao. A 7th-level citizen under 1,000 years old possessed not insignificant potential, and he must inform his teacher. The one known as Shirsan? That 7th-level citizen? The Golden Dragon Star Master looked down at Jin Tianzhao, almost without needing to think. He could deduce that Shursan was an alias. The true identity of that 7th-level citizen, apart from 3 goddesses, probably nobody knew. Don't worry. The Golden Dragon Star Master spoke calmly. Even if he can become an 8th-layer citizen, that will be a matter for the distant future. For now, focus on the current matters. Chapter 320, Escalation of War. Battlefield C24763 Alien Battlefield. Not far from the permanent spatial rift. Lin Yuan sat cross-legged, occasionally closing his eyes in deep thought, occasionally looking up at the more than 10-meter-long spatial rift. Space is everything. All things are nurtured, they need space. All things grow, they need space. All things wither, they also need space. Lin Yuan pondered this in his heart. Since the breakthrough in comprehending 965 basic spatial models, Lin Yuan had begun to sense the deeper essence of space rules. With his against heaven's understanding, and the spatial fluctuations emanating from the nearby eternal spatial rift, Lin Yuan's perception of space rules was growing every day. 7,782 core spatial models. Lin Yuan frowned, after having comprehended the basic spatial models. What he was contemplating next were the core spatial models. If the 965 basic spatial models are just the surface layer of space rules, belonging to the introductory level, then the 7,782 spatial models are the core of space rules. And each of these 7,782 spatial models has many aspects, like blind men touching an elephant. Different evolvers will have different insights. This was also why Chikuan Starlord was unwilling to demonstrate the core spatial models to Lin Yuan. What Chikuan Starlord demonstrated were only his understanding of the spatial models, and if Lin Yuan followed that, it would only hold him back. Of course, Chikuan Starlord's considerations were based on Lin Yuan's terrifying talent and aptitude. If it were one of the other 12 disciples, Chikuan Starlord wouldn't mind demonstrating the core spatial models. From comprehending the basic spatial models until now, it's already been 1 or 2 months, and in all this time, I haven't even understood one core spatial model. Lin Yuan sighed inwardly. If other evolvers knew that Lin Yuan planned to understand a core spatial model in 1 or 2 months, they would probably be so frustrated they'd cough up blood. Each of the 7,782 core spatial models is profound and broad, sufficient for an ordinary 7th-rank evolver to contemplate for thousands or even tens of thousands of years. You plan to understand one in 1 or 2 months. Even an 8th-layer evolver like Chikuan Starlord with an unimaginable talent in the field of space rules would need to invest a considerable amount of effort to understand one core spatial model. Particularly as one approaches the later models, the core spatial models become more obscure and difficult to comprehend, and a single bottleneck could easily stall progress for hundreds or thousands of years. Take it slow. I'm not in a hurry. Lin Yuan gathered his thoughts. What he had in abundance was time. With the door to the myriad realms' ability to travel through, his actual lifespan is far longer than that of other evolvers of the same rank. Although traversing worlds and comprehending the space rules was not as fast as observing the eternal spatial rift directly at this moment, with his against heaven's understanding, it was merely a matter of spending more time. I feel that, as I contemplate the core spatial models, is my inner world slowly expanding? Lin Yuan mused privately. The inner world was based entirely on Lin Yuan. The higher Lin Yuan's realm, the deeper his understanding of space, naturally allowing its scope to expand and extend continuously. If I could comprehend all 7,782 core spatial models, wouldn't the size of my inner world be incalculable? Lin Yuan looked forward with anticipation. The larger the inner world, the more world force it can mobilize. If Lin Yuan's inner world reached tens of thousands of miles in size, he would be able to overwhelm ordinary 8th-rank evolvers just with the force of his world. Forget it. Comprehending the 7,782 core spatial models is too far off for me. Let's first thoroughly understand the first one. Lin Yuan steadied his mind and continued his contemplation. The Taiyin primordial spirit contemplating space rules could synchronize with the true self there, with shared consciousness and mutual enlightenment between the two primordial spirits and the true self. However, after contemplating for a while, Lin Yuan glanced around. Why are there fewer and fewer different species around? Hello everyone, this is Shadow. Due to copyright restrictions on YouTube, I can't publish many of the audiobooks you love. That's why I've created a special paid service where you can enjoy over 300 high-quality audiobooks from platforms like Webnovel, Pocket FM, Audible, Wuxia, and more. Each novel comes as a one-time purchase, no subscriptions, no hidden fees. After payment, you'll receive full access via Telegram, along with all future updates for that novel. You'll find a wide selection of your favorite genres and titles, always in premium audio quality. Check the full list of available novels in the description. DM me now to get your favorite stories in audiobook form and start listening today.